Let's go zombie, let's go zombie. Let's go zombie, let's go zombie. Yes, we've got calls coming through, we've got calls lined up, calls are coming through, but listen, you just can't whack a bit of Zombie Nation, you cannot whack it. We'll take this one right for the top. You see where this bit comes in? You just got to bounce about like a mad zombie giving it. Hands in the air, come on, walk about like a zombie. Wait a minute.
Zombie Nation.
Zombie Nation, let's go zombie, let's go. Right, so there's been zombies following up all over the place here. And first of all, who was this brother? This was the brother. Yep, 2 seconds, we've got a Fenian brother here we're going to get on.
Hello.
Hello.
Tommy.
Hi, who's that?
It's Joe.
Joe, how you doing, my man?
No bad, pal.
What's happening, my man? What's happening?
I just thought it was fucking hilarious what you've done tonight.
Did you hear all those dafties?
I've got some dafty on Twitter here. He just texts me and he's calling you a wanker for what you done to Sandaza.
At least they're defending Catholics. At least I've got them. I've united the Orange faithful into defending a Catholic. So I'm putting myself down, if nobody else does, for Nobel Peace Prize, because the next step forward is to get them get them to Catholic schools next. That's what I say.
Yeah, but the point I made to the guy is, he hurt himself to the highest bidder to go to a fucking monkey mob in Division 3, and then he was caught out on the phone doing it again. What's the big deal?
I know, hurting himself out, I know, but and here,
I don't know, these Celtic fans are his fucking PC connects coming for.
And they crackpots on, I don't know if you heard they morons in Sports Sound, they called me a moron, but hey, I think it's probably because he's either jealous and he heard me chewing the cud with John Brown talking about him as Tom French. But when he came on that stuff the night, right?
Oh, but that's Tom English, yeah.
Aye, when he was spouting, bumping his gums, talking a lot of shite earlier on. I mean, it was just out of pure frustration and jealousy. And there was someone who can phone someone up, and at the end they gave the game away because one of the guys turned around and says, "Oh, but he did it to Craig White," and they went, "Oh, that's kind of justifying." Like, how do you work that one out? How's it justified to bam up Craig White and no a player? And then they finished off by saying, "But that's what happens anyway when players get tapped up." And so what that guy was doing at the end, that's what happens. So if an agent phones up, then they say, "Oh, send us the stuff," and then if I think it's time, we'll put it to the club and we'll take it for there. So no, I don't give a shit. The way I'm done it now, right, I did a show last night and you heard me phoning all the American people, and today I've got a call in the bag with a guy called Scoop from Columbus Crew. Right, I've got a call in the bag sitting there waiting to deliver the new. I can put out any time, but I'm holding it back the new because I'm trying genuinely to get Francisco Sandaza a club, because I struck a chord and I heard the brother there, he wants some sunshine, and fucking hell, I don't blame him. I've been out to Barcelona even a couple of weeks ago and it was beautiful. So places where the sun shines 24/7, why does a boy like Francisco Sandaza work in the 3rd division with a shite mob like that? I'm going to bend over backwards to get that Spanish boy a new club and out of here, because I'm his new unofficial agent. That's the bottom line, I'm a new agent.
What you've literally done is done the guy a favour, because everybody knows, all the other clubs know, he's not fucking happy there anyway.
That's it. And the boys, I remember when he first came on the scene, he scored against us, and remember that mob as well, away in 2008, right. And he looked the part then.
I scored him against us, he done it at Paradise and all the fucker.
I know.
And he's not a bad player, the boy.
I know, and obviously he went away. I think he couldn't get a terms sorted with the United, and then it went pear-shaped. He went down to, where was that mob doing in... no, doing in Brighton or something. But when he came back with Kilmarnock last season, he looked alright with Kilmarnock. He wasn't setting a header on fire, but it was no bad. And then he made the right decision. Remember they tried to go, I think, was it no him that they tried to sign in January or something, and then they bollocks the deal or something. That's right, went to the bollocks the deal with the poor boy, and then
he said himself in the January transfer one day, he says, "Well, when he can't sign for Rangers because I don't know where they're going to be playing." That's just a phone. Only fucking tits up.
I know.
At the time they were mentioning him.
But see the thing, right? Nobody's picked up on it. A few people's picked up on it, right? Now, the main thing was, and the media certainly never picked up on it, right? But what he gave away the game was, right? He's on 4.5, then 5.5, then 6.5, then 10.5. Now, he wasn't the biggest wage earner there. It was that wee boy for, who's the one that got Dean Shields? Was he the one who was on 7, or was it the one Templeton on 7? So what we're seeing here, right, is a team paying 4 and 7, this is two parts to it, right, 4 grand, 7 grand a week, taking on players paying 30, 60 pound a week, bricklayers, plumbers, taxi drivers, whatever, and part-time jobs, and ending up beating players who are earning 4,000 and 7,000 a week. But the thing is, the 4,000 and the 7,000, look how that money's gone up. Now, how is that sustainable in Division 1? The reason why they want to get fast track quickly, because see in Division 1, if you look at, if Sandaza's on 4, going up to 5, going up to 6, what is Dean Shields and Templeton, if they're on 6 or 7, and they'll be going up obviously the exact same way possibly as well. So how can that wages be affordable and sustainable? And nobody's fucking pointing that out, that the fact that in 2 years time, unless even if they get fast tracked up to the Premier League, there's no guarantee they're going to get into Europe anytime quick, unless they get a mystery benefactor. I know.
A boy made a right good point tonight on that Sevco scoreboard. He says, what happens if they do fast track them up into the Premier League? He says, there's got to be a rule that they can't be relegated. Because the team they've got to now would be.
That's it.
And that's all kidding aside, I mean, they're absolute fucking rank rotten. I got to the stage, I was watching a few of their games and I was saying to myself, you couldn't even watch this, even thinking that they were going to get beat, you couldn't fucking watch it, they were that bad. It's no football. And all the young boys have got about talking, and he's talking about selling them on for fucking millions. I don't know what he's fucking looking at. He certainly can't be the range that that's played for them now. And they're fucking dire. But old Charlie, he keeps spouting all this shit. Nobody challenges him at all. Or the push, he's been caught out that many times talking push, and yet still nobody challenges it. You can tell the way the papers not are loaded, they're biased.
It's sickening, really, that nobody is allowed to challenge. I've been trying desperately to do that, and because nobody's pulling him up, mate. But hell, slap it into him, because he's playing them like a fiddle, and he's going to walk away into the sunset before he has to open a penny or open the chequebook. And I reckon he's going to take all the money for the share stuff, because the share tie-in ends. There's one lot of shares in the 6 months deadline, and then the other one is in 12 months. So for setting it up, the whole scam is set it up as a 1 penny company, and then later on down the line, 6 months, a year down the line, cash in your chips, whatever it is, 50 pence, 70 pence. And this is the trick all the zombies are thinking. So they're directing all their hatred at me for showing them up for having a player who's a mercenary. Right, who's a mercenary taking the money, and they should be congratulating me and saying well done instead of threatening me, you know what I mean? And if he goes...
Well, that's what I meant to ask you. What was the threat you got?
Oh, somebody's threatening.
I've been trying to get you...
I get chopped up, I'm threatened to get chopped up, and I'm getting threatened with the police, and I'm getting threatened with that they can't find their own arsehole, so they're going to send me their dirty toilet paper. They can't find their toilet fucking thing, so they're going to send me their used toilet paper, and they just want to know where to deposit. And I was just saying, well, we ain't flying shite at the moon, you fannies. So that was just kept going on in circles like that. I was like a dog chasing its tail. I mean, one zombie.
It was really good to see some guys storing up to the kid on bully boy cardboard gangster tactics.
Fucking
because that's basically all they've got. They'll threaten you, they'll intimidate. Every time it's going down to a fight, even when I was a boy back in the 70s, if I'm not fuck, they're all the same. They're fucking wind and push.
I know. Well,
but it's been fucking brilliant to hear you barreling on them, especially these daft cunts. They're all phoning up saying the same thing, is that a Masonic conspiracy, and
they go
pride is paid at you but making an ass of themselves at the same time.
And they go, it's a big deal. They go to numbers. Somebody found a number, right? I've been giving out my numbers for weeks and fucking months on end. I've been paying for the last 2-3 months a fucking 1690 number for the daft cunts to phone, and now they finally found it. They're like a corporation bus. You sit there waiting for yours freezing, and then boom, there's about 40, and that's what happened tonight. There was fucking thousands phoning every second. They're like, we've got your number, we've got your number. I was like, I've been fucking asking you to phone for ages, you cunts, to rip the piss out of yous. Where have yous been? Hurry up, I've been sitting here laughing at yous.
Now, see this fucking mock outrage with the Celtic fans against this Sandaza carry on. That's just right up my fucking nose. It really is.
Because
I don't really give a fuck whether he's a Catholic or not. As far as I'm concerned, he plays for him. And he done it just for the fucking money.
Right, I phoned up
because... The fact he's selling across to you is he was going to do the same again. I don't see what the harm in that is. The guy's looking after be fair, fucking fine. He's going to take the chance. All this mock outrage, you should have done this, should have done that. It's all this PC correct, this piss kicking in.
Well, it was warned. It was warned. See if you listen to the call, right? He mentions, right, that he has to be careful because of players get doing fucking funny calls. Do you know when I got his number, right? See, when I was ready to do a call to him, it was last Thursday, right? And see, in the afternoon, I waited till about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, but I sent a message to my mate Brian Stockbridge, and I said, I'm going to make a call to unsettle one of your players later on. And he never responded, so I sent back, I said, you're wondering who it is now. But he never said anything back. So see the comment that Sandaza made, that was directed because they would have been told, watch out, because there's a fucking crackpot on the loose, or just to be careful, be on your guard with what you're saying. So when he mentioned that, and then the bit when I went, about McCoist and that, then he put himself on guard again. But as soon as I gave him my story, and then it sounded believable to him, so he took it back on board, and then it just, I mean, he never said anything totally revelationary, but the fact was, within 2 minutes, he's sitting there discussing with a total stranger how much he was earning, and then within the end of the call, I know, and at the end of the call he's saying send it to me. So, you know, so I never forced him to do anything at any point, and anybody who really has got a brain, once they've dealt with me, and I don't blame them really, when I phone them up and they put the phone call down like Stuart Regan does, like Campbell Ogilvie, because obviously they've had a taste of me before, and the only way to deal with me is, well, fucking just hang up in the clown. So Sandaza had the chance, but when I started swearing at McCoist, that was his chance. I've got a fucking live lunatic here, and he could have put the phone down. But then he allowed me to talk him back into it, and then I reeled him back in again, and then boom. So I'm the bad guy because a guy wants to talk to someone. Well, as far as I'm concerned, he wants out of that club, and God willing, I'm going to phone round America and hawk him. I'm going to hawk him like a tart in Sauchiehall Hall Street to every fucking MLS club in America, because if I'm an agent, if I say I'm an agent, then I'm a fucking agent for that boy. I'm telling you, mate, I'm getting him out of America to get the fuck out.
And hopefully what the call's done is they'll try to offload him for fucking pennies.
Well, we'll see. And do you know what? See if between you and I and the goalpost, see whatever they get, then fair play. Because you know what? See if it falls into the midst, and my old buddy Brian Stockbridge is a financial controller, then I'll be happy, because you know why? He's gone with Chuckles Green with all the loot. So as far as I'm fucking concerned, if they make whatever, right, then fine, c'est la vie, because the Rangers or Sevco or whatever they fucking tribute act call themselves, they're getting shafted bigger and better than what Craigie White ever done. And you know the best thing about it, I can safely say this, because they're that daft and stupid and disorganised, they couldn't even fucking stop it if they wanted to, and that's the bottom line. Charles Green is going to walk out before the end of this year, before he has to spend one single penny. I mean, this transfer ban thing was fucking wonderful for them, and it's beautiful, because it's stopping having to spend it. And then, you know what? Watch out for liquidation or administration come 2014, because these bastards will run out of cash the way Charles Green set it up, because there's a huge recession, no fuckers get any money, even the rich have no got money to fucking waste in a football team, so they're going to be in shit creek. They're going to be paying Sandaza and his buddies extra wages next season, and where's the money coming in when they're giving out season tickets for fucking free?
Well, there's a lot of that fucking zombie mob said they're not paying their season tickets, because he's going to put them up anyway. I mean, that's a stick on, but they're not paying the money to go and watch that shit again. I listened to that big fat slug Derek Johnson tonight, and he was giving it I don't think they'll put them up. That's how he doesn't want the reconstruction, that's how he wants fucking promotion. It's so he can turn around and say, well, what, we've been promoted, so now I can put up the season tickets. But if we're not getting promoted, he can't do that. And that's something else I meant to tell you. Know how they're on that AIM stock exchange? Just before it shut the night, the AIM, the price fucking dropped 4%, and some cunt offloaded a rake of shares.
Seriously?
So somebody somewhere knows something. But you need to talk to somebody who knows more about it, Tommy.
Oh my goodness, look at the date. Do you know that's the 3 months? That's 3 months because it went just before Christmas. So that's a 4% of shares went. That's a deadline that's been breached.
I think it dropped 4% in price or something. And it might have been 4% fucking went, but somebody offloaded a right load of them just before it shut the night.
Well, there you go. That's a 3 month stock option maturing because it'll go in 3 months because so the next one it'll be because they did it just a few days before Christmas, wasn't it? It was floated just a few days before Christmas. Am I right?
Aye.
So there you go.
They were nuts doing it at Christmas.
No, they weren't nuts because he did it for that. He kept saying, "Oh, we want it before Christmas," because this is how clever these fuckers are. They put it at 1 pence. They float it at 70. They buy in at the first tranche, right? They buy in at the first tranche at 1 pence and then they float it at 70. So that's the first lot. Whatever's sold there, there's other ones who are tied in for 6 and 12 months. So that one might be one of the non-executive directors or something. So this might be someone who's not a director. So like this might be a shareholder. So whoever.
So they'll get a killing on it anyway.
Well, do you know, I worked out, right, see for every share you've got at 20,000, for every 20,000 shares at 1 pence, if it goes up to 50 pence, that's a million. That's a cool million for that 20,000.
I can't use to pay £1 million for shares in Amber.
But they got investors to put in 20,000, and they got 20,000 1 penny shares. But then when you multiply that, now they say I worked out if it's at 70, right, what the price is there, but say it was to just go to 50, say the price was to fall down and it was to be 50, so 50 times your 20 grand, so you're making a cool million. If the share price drops to 50, and that's within a year, they're still making a cool million for everybody that puts 20 grand investment. How's that for fucking interesting and a profit? And that's where the scam sits.
I know a bad lift.
That's where the scam sits now. They don't need to take the money for fucking the season tickets and the share money they did. I mean, that share money will be used as working capital to see them through to get the season ticket money, and then when the season ticket money comes in, that'll be working capital to get them through to January. So they'll be escaping out the back door, and the plan is they're getting the share from 1 pence to whatever the fucking profit is, and walking away no with £20,000 worth of shares, with hundreds of £1,000s worth of shares, times 50 or times 60 or times 70, whatever the price is. You see what I'm saying, bro? That's where their bounty is.
Don't get me wrong, I've got a brother-in-law that's a fucking zombie, and he bought all his family 700 quid worth each. And when he came in that day, I got about A4 paper and I wrote on it, here, shareholder of the Joe Cannon Benevolent Fund, 700 quid. I said, yeah, you'd be fucking well giving that to me and giving that to them. I said, you'll never see a shilling of that again.
See, people
and he was babbling on, he says, but Green said that this is going to go up in years to come. I said, years to come you'll be liquidated again. I said, fucking hell, wake up and smell the coffee.
And you know, right?
They don't see it.
See the day I sat, right, in a boardroom in the Agil suite, right, across from Imran Ahmed, right, I sat there, I couldn't believe it, right. He turned round to me and he said, I can see the glint in your eye. They says, why they call you fucking Mad Tommy? And I says, listen, brother, right? I says, and I looked at him, I says, you're calling me mad? I says, you're sitting there asking these daft zombie bastards to buy shares in a new club when the share certificate in the old club still hasn't been ripped up because BDO didn't move into the 31st of October. I was sitting in a boardroom at the start of October talking to fucking dumb schmuck Imran Ahmed, and I'm saying, you're calling me fucking crazy, you're turning round and asking them for money, and they've still to have their old company liquidated, i.e. the share certificate for the old one ripped up. Now, when they say they're going to make a profit, well, and it was, I mean, they asked all the Rangers fans to buy in at 70 pence or 72 pence, but the first level of that company, which was incorporated in June, all those shareholders who did the initial investment managed to buy at 1 pence. So, and the Rangers fans, if they think, oh, they're going to make a profit on 70 pence, the shares, they're on to plums. This is a whole scam, and that's, I mean, now I think I'm safe to say that we can all come out and talk about it, because these daft bastards wouldn't be able to stop it, even if they all collectively fun out about it and knew about it. They wouldn't be able to stop it even if they tried. You know what I mean? So hell slap into them, because
even if they all piled in and try to sell themselves, they'll just fucking crash anyway.
I know.
I mean, they'll get into nothing, so they're never either getting their money back.
Aye. I mean, at every stage, the people who have owned Rangers have played them like a fucking fiddle. From Green to White to Murray, they've shafted them all together. I mean, and in the meantime as well, I mean, Scottish football has been defrauded of a proper competition, because how can you say what has happened over the last 15, 25 years when Murray's been the helm, has been anything?
Murray walked into Ibrox, Tommy.
I know.
It's the day he walked into Ibrox, and I actually used to defend Murray to Rangers fans, saying the guy's spending 100 million in his own money when he couldn't never put in a shilling.
I know, it was all
I
good.
didn't know that. That's only came out now. It was all fucking loans and robbing Peter to pay Paul.
I know. And it's now the taxman. And it's all you, and it's you and I and the taxpayer that's ended up paying for it, because all that money that he get borrowed from.
Sorry for butting in, mate.
No, go, bro. Go on, you go.
No, I mean, what happened with this fucking BDO? They said they were going to investigate all these criminal activities. Surely fuck what Masterton done. You can't give a company that was valued at £125 million and near 800, near enough a fucking £1 billion overdraft. How the fuck does that work? You know what I mean? And nobody's actually cracked a light about that either. That bastard Murray's getting away scot-free.
And what he did, right, and it's very similar to what Masterton done on the stadium for Dunfermline, right? Now, Murray put the value of his stadium up and up and up. He got, I think it was DM Hall, forgive me if it might be the wrong one who did it, but at the last end up one, they were valuing the stadium at over about 80 to 100 million, right? That's what they were valuing it at, so they kept ramping the price up. Now, lo and behold, Gavin Masterton managed to ramp up the stadium there from $1 million to $3 million to $4 million to $5 million up to $12 million, and then on that $12 million he used his friends in the Bank of Scotland to do a wonderful voodoo economic trick where for 30 years, right, or 40 years, whatever it was, but to 2043, right, so yeah, exactly another 30 years, when he was the 101, an interest-free deal based on the 12 million that East End Park was valued at. Exactly the same fucking scam that David Murray did to get more amounts of funding and lending out the bank by saying that the property value was worth X amount. So he just self-certed all his property. So he self-certed Rangers the ground and says, well, it's not worth 20 million now, it's worth 40. So he get more money out the bank, and he says, well, it's not worth 40, it's worth 80, so he get more money out the bank. And who, like you said there, who's checking all this criminality out?
Well, how the fuck did they manage to sell up the lot, lock, stock and barrel for $5 fucking million? If the ground itself is supposed to be worth all that, and that's no cute in that Auckland Highway or Murray Park or whatever the fuck the zombies call it there. And
then look what he's now doing. Jarrell's Green is now valuing everything back up again. How's that possible? How can it be at one point it's valued over 100 million, and then like you say, when it's sold, Murray sells it for £1, right? All that was valued for 100 million, he sells it off for £1, and then it gets liquidated, and then it becomes it starts to jump up again. It becomes worth 5 million again for it, Auckland Highway car park and everything. And now Green, he's starting fucking valuing the assets, and now miraculously they're all worth 10, 20 million again. How the fuck does that work out?
Right, well, I'd like to know where this fucking BDO have been. I've not heard a word from them since they walked into that fucking joint.
Well, I spoke to them 3 times. First time before when they got right into it, and I found the number so easily for that guy called Malcolm Cohen, and I phoned him and he sounded professional. But as soon as I got it, I was offered doing a live call straight to air, and somebody went, hold on, wait a minute, if you want to do something, at the time we were talking about trying to buy them over with the thing with Tristan Lockery, and ended up, so I pulled back, and the next time I contacted him was about the start of October, and they were the guy sounded a bit pissed off the way it was taking so long, but he gave me a kind of green light to phone him back, and then finally when they get in, and then the last call I made, I think it was just the week of it was the week of the first, the home game against Barca, and when I spoke to him then, and he turned around and says, well, what do you want from me? And it was kind of a cheeky way, and I went, well, fucking this and this, and he went, well, you need to put everything in email. And as soon as people start going email, that's for a phone jack. You can't shout at an email. So as soon as I hear emails, that's me. Fucking, I'll leave that to somebody else.
It's very easy to fucking twist the words for an email.
I know. They can. I know.
I mean, you can say it whatever way you want it to suit whatever agenda.
I know.
Same as Celtic have done tonight with that boy Hawthorne.
That's right. I know. Well, I've not really seen that. What's that about? What's happened with that? How they? Was that? I remember the boy was on talking to me earlier on.
The boy just phoned you back. The boy was on your show there.
Aye.
Was speaking to you.
Is he still here? Is he
Facebook?
Is he phoned me there? I don't know who's phoned me there. Somebody phoned me. Fucking hell! I've got loads of calls coming in as well now, bro. Jesus.
It's on his Facebook page.
Right,
that boy, and it shows you the whole email that Ronnie Hawthorne sent back. And he said much the same as the boy for Glasgow Road said, but he's put it into a different context. You know what I mean? As if, well, this is what I've done, and I will show this the same video to this guy, but he's not saying nothing about, well, give him fucking finger for work.
So
the email thing, I think the better half is the way you do it. See the way you just talk to them and get the best. To me, that gets the best out of it. And it's hard for people to get back on what the fuck they've just said.
I'm just seeing somebody putting time with the show started. We're going out live. Did you hear the time? Did you tune it in there as it's gone live?
I've had you on for fucking hours. I took my earphones off because you were on the phone, and I heard somebody mentioning Ronnie Hawthorne there.
Shit! Look what I've done. You there?
What have you done? I'm still here.
We've not even gone live. This is a fucking podcast, innit?
For fuck's sake.
That's how I've not got fucking time. I set this up as a podcast. You phoned me through, and we've just done this as a fucking podcast. I was wondering how there was no fucking thing coming through. Right, well, I'll stop this and I'll put this out, and then I'll go live. Jesus.
No problem, pal. No
God bless, mate.